This last game again asked me to put things in order in a slightly different way because now the order can occupy more than one of my slots. And we need to talk about that for a second. We talk about features and we talk about types of features. So when Rule 1 says a feature that occupies more than one slot must occupy consecutive slots, that's talking about a feature, not a type of feature. So what I mean by that is that you could have, let's say, a technology feature, one technology feature. It's an article about Facebook that takes up the first 2 slots. And then you could have a second technology feature in slot 5. So it would be a different feature, even though it's the same type of feature. And if that doesn't make perfect sense yet, I think it will once we get into answering questions. And then you notice I've got a G for graphic, and I've circled it just to show that the graphic is a little different than my types of features. I don't think there's anything else to say about the rules. You never get more than one I, which of course remember from Rule 2. Rule 2 made it clear, that's the other thing to talk about. Rule 2 made it clear that you don't have to use everybody, right? If you have F or T, then they've got to be first. All right, now I'm ready to answer questions. 19, a complete accounting of all of our features and graphics. Answer choice A is out because you only get one I. Answer choice B is out because if you've got F or T, and we do have technology, then it has to be first. Answer choice C is out for exactly the same reason. You have a finance feature in slot 5. If you have finance, it has to be first. Answer choice D doesn't show any problems, and it is our answer. It's just a complete accounting. Answer choice E, on the other hand, gives us slot 2 and 4 for a single marketing feature. And you see how they're differentiating between a feature and a type of feature. It's like it's not 2 different M's. It is one M in slot 2 and 4. And if you've got, from Rule 1, any feature that's occupying more than one slot, they have to be consecutive. So a single marketing feature could be 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, but not 2 and 4. Okay. For question 20, if you have no technology feature, okay, so, we can just set technology aside in our out column, and there is a finance feature that occupies both slots 4 and 5. Well, if there's a finance feature in 4 and 5, there's no technology. Rule 2 tells me if you got finance here also. And maybe it's not just slot 1, maybe there's a long finance feature that occupies slots 1 and 2. I don't know, but I definitely have to have finance in slot 1. Answer choice A. 21 points out how much is allowed by these rules. These rules just aren't very restrictive. But how are you going to do answer choice E? Each feature except 5 is industry or marketing? Okay. We only get one industry. But let's say it's a 3-slot feature. I don't know if I could do that. I don't think there's any problem with that. And then we've got marketing. And now each feature except the feature. And that's important, by the way. Because it didn't just, I said when I first read it, except slot 5. But it says except the feature in slot 5. So I can't put a graphic there. There's a feature there. But it is not I and it is not M. So it is either F or T. But if you got F or T, they have to be first. So there's no way that you've got I's and M's and another feature in slot 5 only. It breaks Rule 2. Question 22, slot 1 is the only industry feature. Now, this doesn't tell us that slot 1 is the only slot occupied by that industry feature, but this has to be industry. And Rule 2 tells us that we're now not using F and we're not using T. And the setup, and I don't think I mentioned it when I was beginning the game, but the setup tells us that we have to use at least 3 features. So this is our only I. So we've got to have 2 M's. And those M's are going to have to be, you know, somewhere. They have to be somewhere. We could make this I stretch out all the way to here, right? And then you'd have two different M's. Or we could make this I just this one, and then you could have an M that stretches out to there and another M. Or you could make an I, these first two slots, and then M, and then another M, and maybe this is, you see, and my point is just that there are myriad possibilities, and we were asked what must be true. And what I was hoping for is just a simple answer that says there is no finance or technology, whatever F is. Yeah, finance, of course. But I don't get that. Instead, I get D, there is a marketing feature that occupies one or more of 2, 3, and 4. And no matter what we do, if we're going to have 3 separate features, we have to have marketing in 2, 3, or 4, because these I's have to be consecutive, and we have to have at least 2 other features. So this is the least we could get rid of. This is the least we could get away with. One big I and then 2 M's, in which case you have M in 4. Anything less than that with the I, and obviously your M's are creeping into 3 and 2 also. So no matter what you do, you've got to have an M in 2 or 3 or 4, or all 3 of them. Question 23, just like question 21, just showing how much possibility there is in this game, but you're never going to get one marketing feature and no finance or technology. No finance, no technology. One marketing feature, make it the longest feature in the world. And the longest feature is 3, remember, because you got to have a total of 3. The longest feature is 3 slots because you have a total of 3 features. And so now we have an I feature. But oh no, if we only have one M and rule 3 says we only have one I, what's our third feature? There isn't a third feature, and the setup told us we have to have 3 features, so this answer choice D is impossible. And that finishes this game, and that finishes this section.